All right, guys, crazy day in the market today, huh? So I'm gonna talk about a dashboard that you can use to look at those crazy days like today, and not only look at the charts or see the news of the market falling. You can actually get some insights by looking at what the options did today for all of these different symbols, and get a better understanding of where the distribution of money is being currently set to. So you can see where people are selling, buying, and all that good stuff. So to start off, let's just select today's date to see what happened today. It was a crazy day, and let's get some insights into what really took place. So once I change the date to today, which is March 9th, 20th, we can see that for the most part, obviously you guys, as would you assume, there's a lot of more put volume, there's call volume. So a lot of more people are, obviously betting that the market is gonna go down even more. And the biggest option volume today for the increase in its spectrum activity, which was EEM. So, but before I go deeper, first I want to say there's two areas here, which is one is the new spectrum activity, which is the new money coming in. So there's new orders of calls and puts, and we have on the right the exit spectrum activity, which is the money leaving the market. So going to the left side, when we investigate EEM, we can see that the spectrum for EEM today has the following distribution of puts and calls. And in the description below, you're going to be able to go to this dashboard and click around yourself if you feel like it. So moving on, we can see the distribution of all the expirations. So the most volume today was for the January 15th, 21 expiration. If you click on it, it's going to take you to that. But before, and you can do that on your own, but I would like to go into the next nearest expiration that has a lot of volume, which is March 20th, because I would like to see if I can use this for trading into March 20th, or into March 31st, or all the way out to January 21st if I feel like it. So we can see that clicking on this today, we can see that this is the distribution of all the spectrum. We can see the spectrum of all the orders that took place today. So basically 37.5 has the biggest volume of increasing open interest, and what that means is that at this strike there's a lot of put orders. We don't know if it's selling or buying, but we know there's a lot of volume there. So looking elsewhere, we can see there's also additional puts being to 32.73, which means that people are betting that the price is going to be there by March 20th. Likewise, we see calls here as well. The calls are above. Yeah, so we see that basically the price is gonna go. It's gonna be higher than 37.73. We don't see, because we see a lot of volume here and we don't see any open interest. What that means is a lot of volume took place today, and all of the open interest was closed. So there's no new orders on this 37.73 strike for whatever reason. It could be that people were breaking even, or they were moving funds or closing orders. But we know that there's a lot of volume that took place, and there's no open interest. So something happened. So with this, we can now there's additional screens here. We can see the over time. So for now, it's just one single dots to represent today. If you were going to extend the calendars into other days, you would see a time series here for the open interest and the time series for the volume. So going back to the dashboard, the symbol selector in the dashboard, first I would also like to click on the SPY, which is the ETF for the SP 500, to see what took place there, because this usually is the most volume on a daily basis. But today EEM took over, so something really happened to EEM. There's a lot of exposure and there's a lot of concern, so the emerging markets are heavily traded today. So with the SPY, we see actually something different. So for the SPY, we see a lot more call volume than put volume, or not volume, it's more of the open interest. There's a lot more open interest for the calls, meaning that they're expecting the SPY to continue to go up actually, instead of continue going down, because again, it fell, since its peak, it fell by 20%. So there's a lot of bets on the upside. So also looking at the spectrum for the SPY, we can see that the calls have a lot more volume, or there's a lot more area for the calls versus the puts, where it's just a little bit of area. And then we can also see how all of the open interest for today was distributed across different time frames. So December 18th, 2020 was a big one. March 20th again is another big one. So let's select March 20th and let's see what we can do for trading. So today the market, let's see, the SPY closed at around 275. So what do we have is we have something interesting here, which is we have puts. So people are expecting that the price of SPY is going to be from 244 to 217 by March 20th. That is as of today. Of course, it's gonna continue changing. So that's why important to, if you're going to get into a position, monitor it with this dashboard so you can make a decision as to either getting out or stay in the trade you're currently in. The interesting pieces that here is we have the 265 calls. So the 265 calls are currently below the current price. So which tells me that people are selling in the money calls for SPY on the 265 strike and on the 271 strike. So what this means is there's a lot of expectation that the price is gonna go below 265 because with the in the money calls, you would expect that the price would be below your call, which is below 265. Otherwise, you're short these shares. So there's a lot of interest as of right now, as of today, on this 265 strike. So you can make a couple of bets here. You can either follow this order because it's not easily recognized. You can do the same. You can say that let me sell in the money calls for 265, take a risk, or you can just buy a long put, which is also the same thing for a 265 strike. Or again, you can go into 244, 242, and essentially you can start monitoring that position as to what happens before March 20th. So every day this is getting updated. So every day you'll be able to see if there's new sentiment in the trade that you just took, and see if there's any exiting positions for the strike that you're in. So let's say if you're in 265 strike and all of a sudden you start seeing that, hey, the 265 people are getting out, well, maybe you should get out or take a look or figure it out. There's definitely some change that needs investigating. So with that, in the summary, we talked about the spectrum activity on the EEM symbol and the SPY symbol. We only today, for March 9th, 2020, we only saw that there was new spectrum activity for the most part for the EEM and SPY. And we also saw, we see there's nothing here. Usually there's orders, people getting out, people are selling, taking profits. So today looks like there isn't much profits, or there isn't any profits taking in EEM and the SPY. It's just people are closing their trades, they're managing their orders, or they're managing their risk. So with that said, in the description below, I'm gonna post a link to this dashboard. So there's two types of dashboards. There's the 4K options spectrum activity dashboard, which is this one. This is designed for your desktop use. And we also have the mobile versions, which is for single scroll, and it only shows either the new or the exit spectrum activity. So be on the lookout for those. Subscribe if you like, comment, make suggestions. Yeah, so I'll be making these every day. See you guys in the dashboard. Thanks.